Hey friends, welcome back to a new Power BI video. To be specific, a Power Query Editor video. So when you import data into Power BI, you all know that you have the Power Query Editor to transform and clean your data upfront, which is a great tool. But here I'd like to show you how flexible this tool can actually be for you. And you can save a lot of manual work using it. In this example, let's say we are interested in the order ID of this orders table. However, we want to extract only, in this case, this year, which is 2017, and then we want to have the first 4 digits, which would be 1311 in here. And the same is true for here, and then for here, instance here, it would be 2015, and then 5113. So our goal is to get rid of the dash, and also to exclude the first part as well as the last part. Now, you all know, probably you might have some Excel experience, or you know it from Power Query here. You have the option to trim certain things or to split the data based on the delimiter, for instance, which would be a dash in here and so on. But still, this would require you to do a lot of steps manually. So why not doing it all in one step without any kind of writing code or any kind of function? How to do this? Well, here the so-called column from examples, this one comes into play. And this is really powerful. This is a very useful feature because it allows us to basically type in some kind of, let's say, syntax or some kind of pattern, and then we can extract this pattern. Now, of course, depending on how complex the pattern is, Power Query would need us to insert a few items first in order to really pick up the pattern. But still, let's try and figure that out for the order ID. So first, I select order ID, and then you need to be careful because you have, like in many options, always this little down arrow, right? At the top, at the bottom here. So if you click it, you can see that either you choose from all columns the pattern or from the selection. So if I click on the default, just on the on the icon here, you see that by default I select everything. And that's not what I want. This is why I first highlight my order ID, then I click on this little down arrow here and say from selection to make sure I only extract the pattern from the current selected column. So I do that, click on selection. Okay, here we go, and there's our column. And now I can type in something here. And as I said, I would like to see 2017, so 217, and then I want to see a 131111. So I want to get rid of the dash as well, and that's basically the pattern I have. Okay, so then obviously the pattern is not picked up yet. Well, as I said, this might be a little bit more complex, so let's try it again. And again, it's 2017 and then 1311. Okay, so now Power Query is already proposing some values. They're currently grayed out a little bit, but you see that what it basically does is simply only repeating the value here, because it thinks that currently, as you can see here and transform on top, this is what we want. Well, that's not the case, but it is the case for the first entries here. Okay, but here, for instance, is another one, 2015 5113. So let's go in this specific row here and say, okay, here I'd like to see 2015 and then 5113. And now you see that it already picked up some values here. So 2015, that's also fine. And then here, for instance, 2015 2510, which is also correct here. But obviously there's still some entries missing in here, which is this pattern here. So let's try it one more time. Let's say 2017 in here, and it would be 3245. And I press enter. And now you see it also picked up this one. And now if I scroll down, I can see that all the values are filled. So that looks good to me. And now if I want to apply this and create this new custom column here, so column from examples, I just need to click OK. But before I do this, let me just show you what it basically created here. So it is a transform, and then it applied various M functions, like splitter.split, text by delimiter, ES, and so on. And then it did a few additional things here, and text and combine. So you can see that these are all M functions. So maybe you know M, maybe not, but that's not the case. The main point, which I like to focus here, is you can see that this is a pretty complex formula actually. So there are a lot of steps involved into extracting the pattern. But what we basically did was just entering, in this case, 4 values, simply typing the text, And Power Query was doing this transformation step automatically for us. And all we need to do now is simply click OK. And you see that it just takes this specific code. And now we have here our extracted new, let's say, new order ID. And then we can work with this one. Of course, you can rename here the column and make sure that the data type is correct and so on. But that's basically the extraction using this column from examples. As I said, I think this is a really, really great tool implemented in Power Query because it allows extracting data quite easily, even complex patterns. Sometimes, as you have seen, you need to maybe use a few additional steps, so enter a few patterns just for Power Query to pick it up, depending how complex your actual code is. But you've seen that it works, and now we're good to go. And then we can do additional transformation steps for all the other columns, and then load our data and start visualizing in our report. So that's it for this video. So hopefully that was helpful, and hopefully you can find column from examples for your own work. Try it out. It is really a great tool. And always, thanks a lot for watching. Please give this video a like. Also, please consider subscribing to the channel. It means a lot, and also, of course, motivates me to produce more videos for you. So, beside this, take care, wish you a great weekend, and hopefully see you in the next video. Until then, best guys.